How's it going, Rams fans? Welcome into another episode of the Los Angeles Rams Insider Podcast on Sports Illustrated. I'm your host, Tom Cavanaugh, here with the Fans First Sports Network. And today we're going to hit a few things, talk about the upcoming matchup for the Rams taking on a struggling New England Patriots team, winners of two of their last three, but sitting at 3-7 on the year currently. A big opportunity for the Rams to bounce back after their loss to the Dolphins last week. And then we're also going to take a look at the divisional predictions for Week 11. Got a really interesting NFC West matchup between the Seahawks and the Niners. Cardinals are on a bye, and we're just going to break it down, talk about the Rams as well, and kind of where this division looks after Week 11. You can follow myself, Tom Cavanaugh, on Twitter at TCav30. Post pretty much everything that we come out with on a daily basis over there, along with opinions, takes, kind of on how the Rams season has been going week to week. You can go over to Twitter and Facebook and follow our insider pages at Rams Insider on SI. And then if you want to find all of our articles from all of our fantastic writers, just type in Los Angeles Rams on SI in your search bar, and you will be able to find all of our great stuff. So we'll start talking about this Patriots team. They got off to the right start at the beginning of the year, beat the Bengals by 6 in Week 1, and then went on a 7-game losing streak all up until they beat the Titans in Week 8. And they're now winners of two of their last three. I'm sorry, they beat the Jets in Week 8. And then they lost to the Titans and then got a win last week against the Bears. We'll harp on that Bears game in a minute. But this team's seen its fair share of struggles this season. They started with veteran quarterback Jacoby Brissett. He played the first 5 games, earning a 1-4 record. They went to Drake May. He didn't get off on the greatest foot either. Just put together 37 points in 2 games. Threw for over 200 yards in both of his first 2 starts. And he's played and started 4 of the last 5 games for them. He was out in Week 8 when they beat the Jets, but he's played the last 2 weeks, and he's looked all right doing it. Obviously, being a rookie quarterback, it's tough to live up to the expectations of what we've seen from guys like Jaden Daniels. I guess Caleb Williams at times. Other times he's been shaky. So May kind of falls under that category of a coin flip type of quarterback as a rookie, still getting his feet wet in the NFL. But we really got to focus on this offensive side of the football. It's been a tough go this season for the Patriots in multiple categories. They rank dead last in the NFL in average yards per game. It has not been good for them. They're averaging just 271 yards per game. And then the second lowest point total per game as well at just 16. That's a little bit better than what the Rams played last week. They took on a Dolphins team that was averaging 15.5. But this is a situation where the Rams have to take advantage on the road against the banged-up Patriots team that just has not found success of late. As I said, winners of 2 of their last 3, but I'm talking traditionally over the last several years, ever since head coach Bill Belichick, and a lot of that organization started to fade away after the Tom Brady era. It's not looked good for the Patriots over the last several seasons. And this year is no different. They're sitting dead last, along with the Dolphins in the AFC East, rather. And then when you look at a few key players for this team, besides May, who, he's thrown 7 touchdowns, 5 interceptions over the course of the 6 games, much better than what Brissett did, playing 6 games as well, throwing 2 touchdowns and 1 pick. A lot more production. The good comes with the bad, considering he does have the 5 picks, but when you look at this offensive line, they have not done a great job this year. 32 sacks allowed on May and Brissett combined this year. Going to be big for the Rams to penetrate that front 4 and get to the quarterback. It's likely going to be Drake May playing. I don't see them making a switch back over to Brissett this week. On the ground for them, it's been Ramondre Stevenson. He's played in 9 games, has 512 yards and 6 touchdowns this year. Through the pass game, they don't really have a number 1 wide receiver currently. Demario Douglas, he is probably their best wideout currently statistically. He's got 356 yards through the air and 1 touchdown. But it's been Hunter Henry at 428 receiving yards this season and a touchdown as well. They're utilizing that tight end a little bit more. You've got Austin Hooper in there with over 200 yards as well. So it's a big tight end set for the Patriots on offense. May, At times he'll look for the deep ball, deep crossing route, fade to the corner, but it's mostly those tight ends, middle of the field, out routes to the sideline for about 8 to 10 yards. And that's kind of how their offense has churned and struggled because they don't have that big play type of guy to be able to go out and do something special. So when you look up and down this Patriots team, there aren't too many extreme threats on the offensive side. The glaring fact that I mentioned, 32 sacks, their front four has really struggled. And if Drake May, if he has a legacy game and he's able to go off for 250, 300 yards against the Rams defense that has been trending in the right direction the past month, I'd be surprised. So the Rams really got to do a nice job this weekend. It's going to be a weird game for them because they're playing at 10 a.m. Pacific time. They're going across the country to the East Coast, playing at 1 p.m. Eastern. So they're going to have to kind of prep for that. Maybe get there a day or two early, adjust to being up so early and getting on the field for game time in what to them would be 10 a.m. Rams got to take advantage, got to bounce back after the loss to the Dolphins and get back in the race in the division, moving on to 5-5 with a win. Now taking a look at the rest of the division around the NFC West, you have the Arizona Cardinals at the top. They're 6-4, but they're on a bye week. So they're going to take the week off, get them rest, but they will play the Seahawks next week. 2 of the next 3 games for the Cards come against the Seahawks. Those are going to be games to watch out for. We'll have that prediction next week, depending on what the Seahawks do, and that leads into the interesting matchup that we have between Seattle and the San Francisco 49ers. So currently right now, tied for last place in the division are the Seahawks and the Rams, both at 4-5. Seahawks, they're coming off a bye week. They've lost their last 2 games in a row. Their season has been up and down. You look at it, they started 3-0. They then lost their next 3 games to Detroit, the Giants, and the Niners. They're losers of 5 of their last 6. So after a really hot start to the season, they just kind of fell off. Geno Smith, he's been fine. He was the passing leader halfway through the year. The running game has been okay. Kenneth Walker has his spurts of big games, while other times he's been banged up and cannot play, and they got to look to Zach Charbonnet. But the Seahawks, it's a tough spot for them because you're playing a Niners team that's only getting healthier throughout the year. We saw Christian McCaffrey come back for them a week ago. Niners are looking at back-to-back wins with a bye week sandwiched in between. They took down the Cowboys by 6 in week 8, and they beat the Buccaneers by 3 on a Jake Moody walk-off field goal last week. So in classic Kyle Shanahan fashion for this Niners team, they started the season 2-3. And in the second half of the year, they always go on a big stretch to either win the division or get in as a wild card team and always be competitive when they get to the playoffs in the NFC. So this game will take place in San Francisco, actually. Back-to-back losses at home for the Seahawks. As we mentioned, they're coming off a bye week, so a little extra preparation for the Niners. But because Christian McCaffrey's back in the lineup and Brock Purdy's starting to hit his stride halfway through the year, as he always does, I see this leaning towards the Niners because, it's just how they've been over the last several years, struggling out the gate and then picking it up when it really counts. So I give this game to the Niners. I'd say they win this. It's going to be a close game, probably within 7 points or so. Niners, in my prediction, would move on to 6-4, tied with the Cards in first place. The Seahawks would lose their 3rd straight. They would fall to 4-6 on the year in last place. And that brings me to the Los Angeles Rams taking down the New England Patriots. I see the Rams bouncing back and getting a win by double digits. I don't think the Patriots do very much offensively. I think Stafford, Puka, Kupp, and the rest of this offense thrive and really make adjustments from last week. So that'll put the Rams, they'll put them at 5-5, right in the middle of that division and still in contention. They will need the Cardinals and the Niners to lose a few games down the stretch for them to be able to have a chance at winning the division. But when you look at the Rams schedule down the rest of the way, their next 3 games, they got the Patriots, they got the Philadelphia Eagles, and then the New Orleans Saints. I see 2 guaranteed wins in that 3-game span. And then they kind of hit a little bit of a gauntlet. They're going to play teams like Buffalo. They're going to play the Niners again. They got to play the Cardinals one more time and the Seahawks. So 3 of their last 5 games of the season for the Rams are against divisional opponents. it's going to be very telling over this next 3-game stretch if they're able to really put something together. But I see them beating the Patriots, just kind of handling business on the road, and then getting back to 500 and making a push down the stretch. If they can really do what they did last year, winning 7 of their last 8 games to be able to get into a wild card spot. Unfortunately, they lost to the Lions in week 1, or in that wild card week to start out the playoffs. But you never know. I mean, Stafford, he's always good when the lights are brightest, and down the stretch, he's executed in the past, and I expect him to do it again. That's going to do it for us here on the Los Angeles Rams Insider Podcast on Sports Illustrated. I'm Tom Cavanaugh. You can follow me at TCav30 on Twitter/X, and then go follow us on our insider pages on Facebook and Twitter at Rams Insider on SI. Thanks so much, everybody. We'll see you again tomorrow here on the Los Angeles Rams Insider Pod.